Hi, I'm Ollie, this is Simply Stitchy. Sit back, move your hand away from that back button because this video is starting right now and you don't want to miss it. The sewing machine in today's video, this one, is one that I've been critical of in the past. So critical that I've resisted all attempts by family members to buy one until now. They've pointed out that I am assuming it will be bad without giving it a chance or even any kind of real test. So I thought I'd give it a try. Oh my gosh, I am so losing street cred for this one. Now, some things are great in small sizes. You've got the mini car, kittens, puppies, boots, even Baby Yoda. Sewing machines, however, are not one of them. What you have here is the sewing world's equivalent to a dustbuster. For when your worktop's full of crumbs and it's just too much hassle to get the big vacuum out, that's what this is. It's for those 5-minute jobs that it's way too much trouble to set up a full-sized machine for. Your hem's fallen down on your trouser leg, or there's a rip in the seam of your t-shirt. This is for those 5-minute tasks. Although, whenever I hear the phrase, oh, it'll only take 5 minutes, those are the tasks that make me cringe, because you can guarantee as soon as you've said 5 minutes, those jobs are going to take you at least an hour or more, or maybe a day, a week. Now, way back when I was a kid, there was this gadget called a Ronco buttoneer. It was going to be this revolutionary time-saving device that made putting your buttons on your clothes a lot easier than using a needle and thread. It used little plastic tag-like things, the sort that they attach price tags to clothes with these days. There's a link in the description box below for any of you out there that haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. It was a 70s thing and you've really missed a treat. The thing is, it was plastic tosh, rubbish, garbage even. This thing reminds me of that. A mini sewing machine sounds like such a great idea in theory, but is it really in practice? Let's take a look at some of the bad points. This is marketed as a sewing machine, but many of these are actually bought as toys. The thing is, this isn't great as a toy. It's too fiddly to use. If you want your kids to grow up literally hating sewing, then hey, by all means, buy them one of these. The second problem with this machine is it's mains powered or battery. Now what that means is that the motor in here, because it can be powered by battery, isn't particularly strong. You're going to struggle with any kind of fabric that's got a bit of weight to it, because it just won't have the oomph to force the needle through the fabric or even pull the fabric through the machine. That makes this particular gadget a really bad choice if you do have anything slightly heavier than a chiffon, but more on that in a minute. This here is a real needle. It's a 15 by 1. Now if you've been watching my videos up until this point, you'll know that size 15 needle is the size that Grandma behind me takes. It's the size that Jerome, my Janome, takes. It's the size that the Singer Simple takes. It's a real needle. The thing with this gadget is there's no on or off switch. Now the reason that this one might not have an on-off switch is probably because this is an older version. I actually picked this up at my local thrift store for $5. There's no way I was buying one of these things new. Newer models may have an on-off switch, but with this one in particular, as soon as you've plugged it in, there's no need to stand on the foot pedal to make it go. If it's plugged in, it's live. Talking about the foot pedal, it's a bit small, even for a child's foot. This is the pedal off my Singer Simple. The amount of speed control you'll get with this is non-existent. Basically, if your foot's on that, it's fast or nothing really. Talking about the needle on this one, it doesn't sit in the needle bar straight. Now again, that could be just this particular model. It's not so much flat to the back as flat to a jaunty diagonal, which is going to affect your stitch quality. Another problem with this gadget, which I think is the same with all of them, is there's no weight to it. It will tip if you apply too much pressure to it. I mean, look at it. Another main drawback with it, particularly if you sew a lot of sleeves, hem a lot of trousers or do cuffs, there's no free arm. There's no way of getting this bit smaller so that you can actually get the smaller cuffs or the smaller trouser legs, pant legs around that bit to make sewing them that much easier. Another thing which I find particularly worrying is if we turn it around so that you can see the take-up lever, you shouldn't have to lift the machine simply because you want to lift your sewing foot. Look how unstable that is. You know, if I wasn't holding the back of the machine, it would be over. Now at some point, hopefully, as long as this thing hasn't dented your sewing mojo forever and put you off sewing for life, you are going to want to trade up from this to a full-size machine, which gives us another problem. The threading on this isn't anything like it is on a real machine. If we take a closer look at this one, you'll notice that everything is twee. It's all really close together. And the take-up lever has got a gravity-defying sideward slant going on. Now that in itself is going to cause a few issues. If we take a closer look at how it threads, you've got this bobbin here, which this machine uses in place of a thread spool. Why can't you just use a spool? Anyway, it goes from there to the tension discs, through the take-up lever, through this little thread guide, through that little thread guide, through the wobbly needle bar, and then through the needle. The biggest problem with this machine is there's nothing to keep the tension on the thread coming from the spool bobbin to the tension discs. With no way to maintain the tension, if you tighten these discs or if you mess with this at all, you'll be there until the 12th of never trying to get the tension on this thing right. Trust me on this one, I've tried. I've lost my bit of fabric. There. Those are the different attempts that I made at trying to get the tension right. This one here, that's as good as it gets. I have wasted 2 days. 2 days on this. At the very least, you owe me a click on the like button down there, just for that. Show your appreciation for me taking one for the team. Not wishing to have a complete downer on this machine, but if you check out the feed dogs, they only just clear the hole in the needle plate, and they don't have enough oomph to actually drag the fabric through to make a proper seam on your fabric. Which means you have to do the one thing that I always say you shouldn't do when you're sewing, and that's pull the fabric as you're sewing. Sorry. If you start on a machine like this and it encourages you to pull the fabric through as you're sewing, because you have to give it that help in order to get it to sew properly. That's going to be setting up bad habits for when you do move on to a proper full-size machine. Pulling your fabric through on a proper sewing machine is going to cost you a fortune in repair bills. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I like easy in and out bobbins. And if you haven't been watching my videos for a while, now would be a great time to subscribe. There's a handy little box in the corner of the screen. You'll get a notification when I upload videos, so you can go over and watch the great content. This machine should be one that I like because it's got a top loading bobbin. If you take the cover off for a minute, the bobbin's right there. The only problem is, because it's so twee and small and compact, the bobbin doesn't want to come out. Oh, unless you take the whole thing out with the bobbin raised too. Just when you thought I'd got to the end of the bad points, there's more. It's clunky to use. It's incredibly frustrating because as you're sewing, it's going to be doing this. There's no reverse. But worse than that, most of the manufacturers that make these things are unknown brands. None of the top sewing brands make anything that looks like this, for good reason. Because as a sewing machine, it doesn't work. But enough doom and gloom. Let's look at the good points. You can pick it up with one hand. Now, I'm not usually a person who says to others, don't buy that brand or that machine, it's naff. I'll point out the features that you should be looking for and the functions that you need to make your sewing life a lot easier. But the choice of the machine is down to you. You know, it doesn't matter which brand or which model that you go for, as long as it gives you what you need to do your sewing projects. For this one, I'm making an exception. Don't buy mini sewing machines like this one. They're naff, they're rubbish, they're a waste of time, a waste of money, useless. Don't waste your hard-earned cash on this. You're just throwing away good money, and for what? Something that's going to be in a landfill site in 6 months, if that. These things brand new will set you back around about 30 bucks. Why not do something slightly more productive with that money? Give it to me. Send it to me through my Ko-fi link that's down below. At least I'll do something useful with it. I'll buy tea bags or chocolate. Or better still, put it towards a new sound system or a camera so that I can make better quality videos for you. Yeah? Yeah? No? Oh. Seriously though, you could take the 30 bucks that you are not going to be spending on this pile of tosh and put it towards a good quality second-hand machine. I've got a video on the sort of things that you should be looking for to make sure that you get a good used machine, and I'll put the link in the description box below. I've also got you covered on choosing some good entry-level brand new machines. Here come my top tip recommendations for you. Now, yes, they are going to cost slightly more than 30 bucks, but at least you're going to get a better sewing experience, and you might even find that you enjoy the hobby and want to carry it on and upgrade to a better model later on down the line. And at least these ones that I'm going to mention do actually sew. First up, the Singer Simple 2263. It's simple to use, it's lightweight. You can pick this one up with one hand too. It's got 23 built-in stitches, one of which is zigzag. If you want slightly more basic than the Simple, you've got the Singer Start 1304. It's only got 6 built-in stitches, but you still do get the useful zigzag included on that. With Brother, you've got the Brother Mobile Solutions Lightweight. Slightly more with it than with the Singer Start. You've got 17 built-in stitches this time. Or how about the Janome Fast Lane Basic? It comes in mint green. Now the reason why I'm specifying the colour on that one is because it also comes in fuchsia, which does run a little bit more pricey. They've got 10 built-in stitches. The one thing you've got to be warned with the Janome is basic means basic. It's small, it's compact, and it weighs in at around about £5. It's going to be plastic, but it made the list because it's Janome, so it's going to be backed by Janome's quality. And the only reason it's on the list is because it's Janome and I trust the brand. All the ones I've mentioned are okay machines. I wanted to give you a selection with a range of prices so that you could see the quality that you can get instead of going for one of these. The one that you actually go for is entirely up to you. Now all the ones I've mentioned are going to be in the description box as Amazon affiliate links because I'm an Amazon affiliate. Using those links does not cost you a penny extra over what the product would cost you anyway, and you don't have to use them. I'm also going to put a link into sewingmachineplus.com. I'm an affiliate for them as well, but again, using the link isn't going to cost you anything extra than the price of the product, but if you do use the link, it helps me out. The sewingmachineplus.com link will give you access to even more sewing machines, so you'll be able to compare the ones that I've mentioned here and other similar ones as well. If it was me, of the ones that I've mentioned, I'd go for this one, the Singer Simple. The reason being, it's backed by the Singer name. Singer are incredibly good at making mechanical machines that are not only solid, push over when you're using them, but they've actually got the features that you are going to need to make your sewing journey a lot simpler. This one Singer have been making for a few years now, so it's tried, it's tested, and I've even got one. Look at that. In fact, although it wasn't me that picked this one out, this one was actually bought as a present for me, and it's got one of the things that I'm not particularly fond of, which is front loading bobbin. It's actually turned out to be one of my favourites, and the only thing that annoyed me with it when I got it was the fact that it didn't come with one of these things, a zipper foot, and that's it. With all the things that you could possibly have wrong with a sewing machine, the only thing that I had to gripe about was it didn't come with a foot. And you can pick these up for about £5. There's a link in the description. As for this thing, it only just about works as a doorstop. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and why not consider subscribing to my channel and clicking that little bell so that YouTube will let you know when I've uploaded another one. You can also check out my channel and see some of the other videos that I've got up at the moment with these links here. Whichever video you go and check out next, I hope to see you back here for the next one. In the meantime, whatever you're sewing, wherever you're sewing it, embrace your creativity and have fun. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.